Hey, what's up, guys? It's Dan from Crypto Camacho again. I am back for another session with Rod Spector from Hypester. How's it going, Rod? How you doing?
Hey, good man. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, of course. I'm excited now. I'm excited. Like last time when we met, we literally started to get into all the good stuff, like all the trading and all the setup and how you would actually go about doing the trading. And we never really got into it. I mean, we started to scratch the surface on the last session we did, but never really got into it. And we were talking a little bit offline here right before we started recording about trading setups, and I was kind of going back and forth with Roderick on. Let me ask you actually real quick. Do you like going by Roderick or Rod? Because I kind of switch back and forth, but
Yeah, because here's the thing. My name is actually Rodrigo, but that's
okay.
not how you say it, and nobody from United States can say it correctly. So I changed my last name when I got married,
Yep.
and I'm going to change my first name. Roderick's pretty much the same thing, but in English.
Okay.
So just easier for me because otherwise it's like, hey, what's your name? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, yeah. But do you like going by Roderick or Rod? Either way? Or?
The same is like John and João. It's like the
Okay.
same word, but in different languages.
Okay, cool. Okay, sorry to sidetrack. I've been wondering about that though. But yeah, so right before we started recording here, we were talking about trading setups, and it's something that I've struggled with in general. Is I've been watching charts for a long time. I get the patterns. I'm starting to understand the patterns and see those patterns, and I've done a lot of trading in the past, and I'm realizing though, really I don't have a good setup. I don't have a good setup when it comes to an actual exchange that I want to actually trade against, right? How I'm charting things out, what time frames I'm using, what indicators I'm using, how I'm drawing different, my own kind of notes on the chart, and then how I'm actually recording the trades, like in a spreadsheet or in some other system, the trades that I'm actually executing on, how am I actually recording those, and am I effectively monitoring those trades over time to actually learn from those and to actually make sure I'm improving, right? My trading, my trading profitability and my percentage of being right. And so we got into this conversation about that, and I just really want to pick your brain on that because you're an experienced trader. I'm still learning, obviously, and I just want to know, what is a good setup? Like, how do you even approach that? I mean, just from the ground level,
Yeah, it really depends where you learn how to trade. I've met guys who learn to trade with institutions, guys who went to, I don't know, business school and then they tried a trainee program at some bank and stuff, and they were trained as, institutional traders. And I also met guys who have businesses or they have decent jobs and save money, and they purchased like web courses and stuff like that, and they learn on their own, and kind of both too.
Sure.
And depending who you're talking to, their set of beliefs and what they rely most is very different. For instance, especially with crypto, right? Here we're mostly your audience is crypto.
Yeah, yeah.
So the crypto guy, he's a lot more into technology.
Okay.
Vastly more. Like if you think about Warren Buffett, he's a genius investor.
Sure.
But he publicly said, I don't know anything about technology, and his comments about the blockchain weren't really profound.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's a very, very intelligent and very successful guy.
Sure.
Do you think he does technical analysis often?
Probably not. I mean, he's probably not looking at. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know because it could be
the way he trades, at least from the books I've read, I don't like this kind of thing, but I see a lot of value in. That's what I want to discuss here.
Yeah.
It teaches you how to think.
Yeah.
For instance, when you analyze the company numbers, like the fundamentals, like the revenue, the cost, that may, with the news and what they release and stuff, that makes sense. So you understand why it's going up and down, and that can give you like, they have cash flow for, maintaining the company for at least 5 years, so it means that probably the price is not going, under this. So it makes sense.
Yep.
They kind of buy the momentum, they invest in the value.
Sure. Yeah.
But the crypto trader, he usually is a gamer. He likes computers. He likes to be in front of the computer. He likes, like shiny things and stuff like that. So he relies a lot more in TA, especially because crypto revived something that was dead for most of traders, which is day trading.
Sure. Yeah.
In fact, it's not common to have like massive moves in blue stock chips.
Sure.
For Tesla, actually, man, Tesla has been very good to trade, better than crypto, a lot better. But that's another. But it's rare, right? In crypto, you see like 10, 15% moves up and down, whatever, daily.
Yeah.
So you can actually day trade it.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't see many other popular markets
that
have behavior. There are penny stocks and stuff like that, but not a lot of people know how to operate it and stuff like that. So
that's one thing that actually attracted me to crypto is and I think other people as well, is the volatility. I mean, a lot of people run from volatility. I mean, friends of mine, they trade stocks in the stock market, like on the Dow, but they run from volatility, and they tell me, they say, why would I ever want to trade crypto? It's too volatile. And I'm like, that's exactly why I want to trade crypto, because it is volatile and there's spreads you can make money on, right? So
it's a different mindset.
Yeah.
You know, like he's trading value and you're trading
speculation. Yeah.
But you see, I don't like this model where they work separate.
Sure.
Because you think, if you are, I suck at this kind of analysis. I should be better. You know, I'm investing, getting better. But crypto is very hard. Like, how can you tell if this coin's good or not?
Sure.
You know, it's not regulated.
It's tough.
It's not like their numbers are out there and they have to show revenue, cost. So it's like a wild guess.
Yeah.
So the crypto investor, by pretty much the environment, turns into a fundamental asset, you know?
Yeah, agreed.
And that is something that crypto guys suffer when they go to other markets.
Yeah.
Because it's, all I'm saying is that it's not that hard. As in, you don't need 15 indicators, the whole thing going on.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just stay close to the news, like, I don't know, get push notifications, you figure it out.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna make you a better trader. Like, get the information before.
So okay, so on that note, and before even getting to kind of setup, you're saying kind of the power of information and the ability to get that information quickly and accurately is one of the number one kind of ways to be above the rest, right? I mean,
have you ever watched Billions?
Peanuts?
Billions.
No, I haven't actually. Billions.
Okay, so you gotta. It's like about a hedge fund manager.
Yeah.
But watch it, you understand the value of information.
Is it Netflix or where is it? Is it it's just a movie?
I watch it on Amazon Prime.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out tonight. I'm gonna go check that out. Billions. Okay.
Very good cast.
Okay.
And all I'm saying is like the value of information, because here's the thing: when you're doing technical analysis, you're just trying to get information. You're trying to figure out the movement just based on, you know, statistics and numbers, right? Of course, that can tell you a lot, especially with the technology that we have nowadays and machine learning and all this stuff. But that's not all. You know, I know that crypto guys, they have this thought where the machines, you know, in like crypto traders are totally into like automation.
Sure.
I have to create a bot. It's like every crypto trader thinks they have to create a bot.
They do. I've seen lots and lots of bots. Lots of bots.
And I like 100% of the guys that I know that trade crypto at some point they're like bot. I don't know why. And guys that come from stocks and stuff, they're like, man, I need to automate. I don't know why, but so there's something with crypto.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but bots are only as good as their creator. I mean, essentially, and there's a lot of shitty bots out there that I've seen. There's some decent bots out there, but I mean, would you agree with that? It's kind of only as good as the creator.
I'm gonna show you a perspective.
Okay.
Because there are people in the crypto sphere that's like, I've seen it and probably you've heard about it. Claims such as, I'm not a businessman. You know, I'm not a priest, but a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a kind of guy that I don't trust like anyone. And I think that's good for the stock market.
Sure.
And that tells me to be very careful with what I believe in, especially this kind of thing, because it's an unregulated market, which means that people can get away with a lot of stuff now.
Yeah.
And money, it's like the thing that most change people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I agree.
People like family killing family. So the first thing, like when you're dealing with money, it's very attractive. It's a very powerful sale pitch if you know how to sell. Because I work with sales too for a long time. I have a digital agency, so pretty much.
Yeah, that's true.
I sell, my job's selling. But I also know it's easy to sell.
Sure.
If I tell you, hey, Dan, give me your money, I give you 5% a month, no questions asked.
Sure.
And bring a friend, and I will give you 10%.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And then you got a BitConnect. Then you got a pyramid scheme.
Everybody wins, right?
Put it on crypto, and you have BitConnect. No, I get it. I get it.
You have Madoff. Remember Madoff?
Yep. The same. Yeah, same thing. Yep.
It was the stocks, like people like crypto, Bitcoin. Man, people are doing this since ever. Like
Ponzi schemes and multi-level marketing schemes have been around forever. And I mean, I agree.
Yeah. It's like multi-level markets. I have to be skeptical about it because I've seen some models that I believe in.
Sure.
Because the product is good.
Sure.
They're not focused on like just selling it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's actually something they're selling.
Yeah.
But when you see something like this, like give me your money and I give you 5% back, and then there's like machine learning, blah, and here's the thing. Imagine that you have $100,000, right?
Yeah.
$100,000 is not something super hard to get. Even if you're like a John Doe, we can go to the bank and come up with a story and get $100,000. Why I'm saying that? Because a lot of people, bot sellers, they'll claim they have like this much of profitability, right? So it's a very simple math. If you get $100,000 from the bank, you have to pay this much interest. All the bots that I've seen online, they claim to make a lot more than they would need to pay the loan and have a huge profit.
Of course.
So why are they selling the bot?
Of course, because it's not as accurate as they're claiming. There's some deception
there.
No.
You have to be skeptical. I'm not claiming they're all fake.
Sure.
But you know the owner. Sometimes it's a cool guy.
Sure.
Sometimes he's like okay with his life. Like, fuck this, I have a lot of money.
Yeah, true.
Could be.
Sure.
But I know that 90% of the cases, that wouldn't be the case.
No.
Right? For instance, I have a bot, and it's pretty much like the last 160 days it made like 60%. Why would I sell it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it's essentially printing you money, you wouldn't be giving that away. I mean, you would. Yeah, exactly.
I have to create a whole business behind it, regulations, customer support.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
It already brings me money, like in a rate that amazing. Why would I sell it?
Yeah.
And in order for it to be worth the sacrifice for me, you wouldn't pay it.
Right.
Yeah, would you pay $10,000 per month for a tool? You wouldn't.
Yeah, completely.
And the guys who can actually pay for this kind of technology are the hedge funds. They have the money. They hire the good guys. That's why you have to be skeptical about what you buy, because if it's so good, man, I'm telling you from my own experience, you say financial market, automation, bot. These three words, you can sell anything, even to a billionaire. Being there on that.
Yeah.
It's an easy idea to sell, even to people that have a lot of resources. So, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if it's like a John Doe or a billionaire. It's a pitch that everybody buys.
Yeah. So how do you kind of weed through that? Like, how do you actually find how do you find something that you can trust? I mean, put it that way.
Well, the first and obvious way is trying.
Yeah. Of course.
I'm not gonna say any names about stuff that works or not, but all the stuff that I've tried, especially in crypto, I haven't been able to be profitable with any of the retail tools for automation they offer. I'm not gonna say names, but I tested most of them, and it's just not reliable enough if you have a big account. Like, I wouldn't trust my money. Like, the APIs suck. Not only the execution suck, but the APIs also. It's a known fact. They have like overloads. Not now, but back in the days when you needed the speed most. When the moves are crazy in January.
Yeah. Delays and
executing the trades. It was horrible.
Yeah. No, I've experienced that firsthand myself, and but even aside from like a lot of people want to learn how to trade. A lot of people want to kind of get rich easy button to push a button and be able to trade. I kind of sit somewhere in the middle. I want to be able to trade on my own. I want to be able to look at charts, be able to actually do that technical analysis, make educated decisions on my own, and be confident that my trades are going to be successful, right? But I also would love to have a tool like Hypester, like something similar to that lets me know that I'm kind of going the right direction, that I'm on the right path, right? But like where I kind of run into difficulty is kind of really getting organized around how you go from not knowing how to trade, organizing yourself in a way that allows you to progress, right? Because I could watch a course, I could watch 25 courses, right, from a variety of different people and learn everything there is to know about trading. But if I don't discipline myself and get the right setup and then follow that setup and those rules religiously, it's going to be meaningless. I'm going to make a trade here. I'm going to make a trade there. Maybe I'll win. Maybe I'll lose. But how do you actually organize in a way that lets you build upon your own successes? That's really where I am struggling. And I imagine other people would struggle with that as well.
Just here's the thing. What makes you succeed in these specific fields are the things that people hate most. The boring stuff.
Yes, get into that because I agree. I totally agree.
It sucks. I know. I don't like to do it. I pay people to do it, or I use software to do it, or but you gotta.
Yeah.
And a good way to show, to make you have a good perspective, it's comparing to real businesses. Because when you talk trading, it's a little, ethereal.
It's more abstract. Yeah.
So imagine you're running a business.
Yep.
And you need to hire a marketing analyst.
Sure.
And you have a guy that charges $30 an hour and a guy that charges $150 an hour for the same service.
Sure.
What's the difference?
Sure.
First thing, you get what you pay for.
Yep.
There's one thing that you cannot buy, which is experience.
Yep.
For instance, this guy that charges $30, he knows how to use the tools, but he's not sure yet what numbers to put in there to get the best results.
Yep.
This other guy has been doing it for 10 years.
Yep.
So he figured out the system already.
Yep. Yep.
You see, it's a stupid saving because you save $120 with the investment, but the return you get is a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And people don't see that. And that's the same trap that messes you up on trading.
Mm-hmm. I felt that. Yeah, I mean, keep going. Yeah, I felt that.
Now, if you look at it, what messes them up continuously is not only this poor decision, which is the entry zone, which would be the buy signal, right? But also the exit point.
Yeah.
And knowing if it was a good trade. Let's say you hire this market analyst, but you don't really track your links. You don't know how much sales you got. You don't know if his campaign actually provided real numbers.
Yep.
Like you paid $30, you got it done.
Yep.
It feels like, oh, great, I saved $150, but you have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because you have no data. You have no metrics. You don't know
mm-hmm.
what you did.
I have done that. I've done that myself. I've gone on the cheap side and hired people from wherever, the Philippines or from wherever really, and I cut corners, and you get what you pay for. You do, and so you're saying the same thing applies to trading, that you do need to actually take that time to really get a good setup, to really to do the things you don't want to do but are necessary to succeed in the long run, like building that foundation, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Elaborate a little bit. Yeah, keep going.
So, you now, as a trader, you're going to be the marketing analyst that would be hired. Mm-hmm. Now, what's the formula to go from $30 an hour to $150?
Experience.
And going back, what we're talking about, now you see the value of the information.
Mm-hmm.
Because pretty much from the moment you start from now to whatever, it's all the information you acquire. You know what works and what not, and that's invaluable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So information is like the number one asset when you're trading something.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's not only about the asset, but about yourself and your systems.
Mm-hmm.
But now let's get into specifics because otherwise people are gonna be mad. But let's talk about indicators.
No, but I like the mindset. I mean, I like the mindset to think like that. You can't cut corners. And traders, I mean, myself included, when you first start trading, you definitely cut corners. And a lot of people think I need to try 10 different exchanges. I need to try 10 different pairings. I need whatever. You don't. You need one simple setup. And it's the same for like if you're trying to sell or market or build a product, you need one thing that actually works effectively. You don't need 25 products. You need one product that sells well. Go ahead. I want to.
No, exactly. That's like, man, you tell me that I have to organize my whole business, but yet you cannot organize your room.
Yes.
You know, like, why do you think you deserve $1 million when you're completely lost with 1,000?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get spiritual, but like, do you deserve this money?
Sure.
Can you even handle it?
Yeah.
Man, I think it's 70 or 80% of people that win the lotto and stuff.
Mm-hmm. They lose it.
Go bankrupt in like 1 year or two.
Yeah, they lose it.
A lot of professional players, you know, like NFL and stuff, because they don't know how to manage the money. So why are you taking a shortcut to something that even if you get lucky? Because in crypto, I have to be honest, in one trade, you can get really lucky.
Yeah.
If you're crazy enough to go like 100 times leverage and you get one of those dumps, man, you can make like $100,000 with 10 grand.
Yes.
But also you can burn 10 grand. Like,
yeah, and I don't recommend that. Yes, I agree. It is tempting to push that button, but it could ruin you too. But it could also make you rich, but it could ruin you.
But that's lucky.
Yes.
Like the first time you're gonna do it, you're gonna flip out, and the first thing you're gonna do is like, man, now I'm gonna buy 1 million.
Yes. And you're gonna lose it all.
Man, it's like casinos. No one leaves when they're winning.
Yeah.
You know, and the ones who did become professional poker players. You know, so it's conquering this emotional side of things that makes you better, because it's completely counterintuitive. While everybody's panicking and selling, that's when you're buying. That's when you're accumulating during the fall. You have to have really big balls to buy when it's, you know, you really have to believe in your system to buy beforehand. You see, they're always trying to pick the bottom, but that's impossible. That's very hard. Either, you know, like you buy the confirmation, but you lose a chunk of the move, or you have the balls enough to buy this other side when it's dropping, so you accumulate. But that requires a lot of trust that's gonna balance it, you know. So the strategy is important because of that. Now let's get into it. Let's talk about indicators.
Okay.
Especially because of crypto. I know crypto guys love indicators, like all kinds of indicators. I create indicators. So
before we even real quick, before we even get into indicators, just for a second, like before I'm even actually at an exchange and before I'm even about to push the button, what would you recommend, like how somebody should set up? Like, should they use a spreadsheet? Should they use, you know, something else to just organize? Look, I'm going to trade on Binance. I'm going to trade, you know, whatever, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. These are my 3 coins. My pairings are with US dollar. I'm going to put this on a spreadsheet. Like, like even before indicators, like how would you even go about that? Like in a basic way.
So here's the thing. It really depends for each specific person. I'm going to tell you what I do, but I think I'm a very specific case because I love, you know, like automation and, you know, data analysis and machine learning. So I store everything on Excel worksheets right now because I don't want to build a whole system around it. I haven't found anything online that fits my needs because I need the data in a specific way so I can process it later for other things I'm creating. You know, and so the way I do it's a little weird, but what I would say, especially in the beginning, keep it simple. I'm a guy that I still do this.
Pencil and paper, You
know, like when I'm trading, I always write down the basic stuff on the paper first, and then I put it on the worksheet after.
Okay.
Especially because I'm not trading a lot. Like if you're doing high frequency trading, you're gonna have to rethink on how, because if you're doing like 100 operations a day, you're doomed.
No, that's actually interesting, a little insight though, and a lot of people probably won't think of it, but I was having a conversation with somebody just this week or just this last week about this. Like when you write something down, you actually are remembering it a little better as well. And you're looking at it, you're recording it with your hand. Maybe you're even saying it out loud, and then you can recall it later. And then you're typing it into a spreadsheet so you can remember it. So that in and of itself could be a little bit of an advantage. At least it is for me when I'm writing things down.
I just like having it like right here, you know, because I have those desk that stand. So
Yeah.
when I trade, I like to be standing.
Sure.
You know, I'm like one of those guys that when I'm playing video game, I have to stand up.
Yeah. Get the adrenaline going.
It's the same thing with trading. Like I have to stand up to trade.
Yep.
So it's very comfortable for me because my screens are kind of big, so I kind of trade from here.
Yeah.
So I have the papers right here, so it's very comfortable for me.
Okay.
And I don't like to get out of the zone, like the trading zone, to get the data. I know some people, they export the numbers from the exchange and stuff.
Interesting.
I don't do that because I just need the timestamp and the price I got in, because then I have a software that reads the exchange and gets all the information for me, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because I want to know like the data of every single indicator in that present moment that I bought.
Gotcha.
And I use that for machine learning.
Gotcha.
You know?
Okay.
But you see, that's other stuff that I do for my bot.
Sure.
You see, and I'm not planning to sell that.
Sure.
You know, like ever.
Well,
like,
yeah, you're
you give me a lot of money, maybe, but I don't know why. You know, like
you're developing that over time. You're kind of stacking the data.
Because I don't know how to code very well for the new machine learning frameworks and stuff.
Sure.
Because I'm learning like now we're learning. I want to expand to MetaTrader, so I have to learn the MTL4, and I had to learn Pine in a month.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes time to learn this stuff, and you know I don't have so much time.
No, that makes sense. Okay, so get into indicators a little bit too, because I'm curious. I do want to know.
Back to indicators. A lot of people are gonna try to, you know, like all kinds of crazy combinations. First thing, simple things work. I've seen guys trading with just bars, candlesticks, and moving averages, and being more profitable than guys that use everything. Yeah. Like those Christmas trees kind of thing.
Yeah.
Both profitable. So there's not really better or worse, but something that I realized from my experience that the more you trade, you kind of know what the indicators are made of. Mm-hmm. So you don't even have to look to know that the RSI is kind of there. You know, it comes with experience. And that's something like with Spectro. Sometimes I'm trading with Spectro, but I realize it's turned off.
Oh.
You know, because I'm so used to I know exactly what's going on. So I know it's gonna say buy before it actually says buy, because I'm so used to it.
That's so funny. That's a good sign. No, that's a good sign.
But it happens to everyone. Like if you use, let's say, a very easy setup, Bollinger Bands with RSI. It's a very classic one. So if you use it a lot, there are times that you know, like the Bollinger Band are not appearing, but you know it's crossing.
Yeah.
And then you turn it on like, I knew it.
Yeah.
That's experience.
No,
that's only experience.
Yeah, no, that's good though. I mean, when I watch Spectre, that's the kind of thing that gives me the confidence, because there are times when I'm like, okay, this is clearly a buy, and then it'll light up. Like the Christmas tree will light up, and you're like, okay, cool, that confirmed, you know, maybe my own biases, but it confirmed what I thought, you know?
Exactly. So the idea of Spectro is making this, like, from when you're this beginner, making $30 a month, an hour.
Sure.
With the experience 150, let's say if you're on your own, it will take you 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, you know? Mm-hmm. But I hope to give you that in 6 months or 1 year with Spectro.
Gotcha.
Because it already filters a lot of the noise, you know, for you. Yeah. And like I said, I know it's working because we, as traders, we know that 90% of people blow out really fast. Yeah. In 3 months. So in theory, my clients have 3 months before they die for me. Yep. And so far, the cancellation rate, it's a lot smaller. You know, like I have like more than 200 something users right now, and since we began the company like 3 months ago, I think we had like 20 something cancellations. What
are most traders like? I mean, most traders are obviously using TradingView to use Spectre, right? Because it's a plugin for TradingView. But what exchange are they using through TradingView? Are they like for crypto? Are they using the majority of folks? Are they using Poloniex exchange? Like, what are they using? Because the options are somewhat limited to be able to trade within TradingView directly, right? You can use Poloniex, right? That's fine. There's a couple others. But do you have any insight on like what folks are using? Just curious.
Well, That's very easy to see. Just go to CoinMarketCap and see the volume.
Sure.
Like you see the top exchanges. I liked Poloniex a lot because it's in US, so I feel like if they do something, it's more unlikely that they're gonna get away with it.
Yeah.
So considering my account size, I try to keep it safe, but they don't have a very good volume. So I also don't really like trading crypto lately because of several factors.
It's been going.
No, you can make money.
No, I know you could. Yeah.
A lot of guys actually in the group. Oh, you're in the group, you know it.
Yeah.
Lots of guys are saying, "Man, I made 150% at this dump," and it's just like I said, it's too unpredictable.
It is. Yeah.
You know, like I don't have enough information to trade crypto efficiently like I have when I'm trading Tesla.
Sure.
And that's the reason I'm trading other stuff.
Yeah.
More than crypto right now. Crypto, I still have my bots because it's a 24-hour market with a very good volatility, so there's always space for that.
Yep.
But I'm trading like with $1,000, $10,000 just to test some stuff.
Got it.
You know?
Got it. No, that's interesting. Okay. So you're saying keep it simple, rely on fewer indicators rather than more indicators, and get good. Like, would you say get good at one indicator, two indicators, like before?
Not getting good. I think the most important thing is understanding the indicator, and that's something that people like to do. They are, especially for crypto. Because I observed a lot of my friends, you know, becoming traders, you know, like actually buying and selling things in those crazy charts you've never seen before. The trading experience. And I could see they were just, you know, applying it to the graph and see how kind of it looks and trying to, you know, find combinations. Like, oh, if it's here and then it's there, I buy. The process is right.
Sure.
But if you understand where those things come from, it gives you like an edge. Because you can forecast. Especially because the charging platform, it has a lag. So the next one, which is the one you want to know most, it only appears when the bar closes. But if you know how the indicator works.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
So people fail to understand that. Also, redundancy. I've seen people applying like several indicators that tell you the same thing. So that's not good because it's going to take you more time to make a decision and you're more likely to be confused.
Sure. Okay.
So that's why you also have to understand, you know, like what variables the indicator use. What this is actually telling you. Like, the RSI is oversold.
Yeah. Well, like, what does that mean? Yeah. Like, and you need to know what does that actually mean when it's oversold or overbought.
Or you're going to become like, and that's, I'm sorry guys, you can hate me as much as 80% of the crypto markets like this now. They react to specific, you know, they have the bot mentality. Like, if this and this is true, I buy. If this, I sell. And I see 80% of people complaining they're losing money in crypto.
Yeah, I mean, well, if everybody's doing that, it kind of changes the paradigm. I mean, it changes the way that things are it changes the nature of the actual indicator itself almost.
Now here's the other part, which is like when you're trading, man. This is a truth that not many people like to talk about, especially with trading. Is like you're they say you're trading by yourself, but you're actually trading against other people.
Yeah, no, yes, and I have failed to realize that until like I always knew that, but it really hasn't struck me until recently.
Someone has to pay for your winnings.
Yes. It's a really good realization though, because like when you're looking at the charts and you're actually looking at the orders, don't just look at the line on the graph. Look at the actual orders coming in and being placed, because it's actual people looking at that stuff, looking at what size of orders are being placed and playing the game off of that. Something that I have actually very little experience at, but am starting to learn more that that's partly how the game works.
And I'm going to give you another insight just to put forth. So it's known that usually a small percentage of people make a lot of money and a huge percentage of people lose a lot of money. The world's like that. 50% of the wealth in the world is like 50% of people. And that's how it is. And that's how it's always going to be. So it means that if you're a winning trader, you're already like in between the top 5%.
Sure.
So it means that you're pretty much those guys that are coming in and out in the first 90 days, they are the ones who are giving you money.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not taking money from the bank, man.
Yeah. No, that's true.
The bank's not going to screw up their stop loss. They have like 15 analysts taking a look at that.
Yeah. No, it's a really good point that a lot of newbies and beginners really
and
overlook.
That's what I don't like about trading.
Yeah.
Because like I already make enough money to live well, and most of the guys you're taking out is, man, crypto. Oh, my mortgage.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. No, and it's the professional trade. Okay, so you're saying you don't particularly like it because it is those more experienced traders that are actually working. They're working it.
Because they would be very hypercritical, right? Because that's how I make my living.
Yeah. No, I understand though.
I'm not building anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally like, since I control my humanity better than the newer guys, I profit. You know, but it's like, what am I building? For reals. Like, what did I change what productivity like did I create? I didn't really create any real value to the world. Like, okay, I built a nice house, a nice car, nice stuff for me.
No, I hear you. Yeah.
Some charity and stuff, but like once I'm gone, the money's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I just don't want to give a lot of money to my kids. I'm like, hey, here, spend everything.
Yeah, no, I agree. And actually, I think Warren Buffett said the same thing. Didn't he? Or it was him, or it was somebody that's similar that they don't want to just give their money to their kids because it'll evaporate.
Yeah, because exactly, they're gonna buy a plane, they're gonna buy stupid stuff, while people that don't have food.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I care about this stuff, so that's how it kind of made me change some things and try to do some stuff that makes me feel better about myself. I guess
that's good.
So coming back to the realization, so now. That's the important part. We kind of drifted away. So when you realize that you're actually trading against other players, just like poker or whatever, you're going to realize that when you become one of those crypto traders, you become predictable. Because for me, as a professional institution, whatever, I know that when the oversold thing goes to oversold, I'm
going to buy it, or somebody new. Yeah.
I know for a fact because you're dumb.
Yeah. No, it's really good to know that. No, I mean, it
means that you see reversal, I see accumulation.
Yes.
You're buying and I'm selling on you.
Yeah.
And then everybody buys out because the retail traders, they don't have this much of buying power. So what happens to the price? And then I buy. Because you're thinking.
Okay, so I mean, we don't have a chart, but let's just say that this is the last bottom of a chart, right? Chart's going up and down. This was the last bottom. Let's say it went back up, and let's say it's approaching the bottom, right? Approaching the bottom, and let's say RSI is saying everything's oversold, right? Maybe right here, a number of folks are going to buy. A lot of newbies are going to see the RSI oversold. I'm going to buy. They buy. And you're just watching. You're watching, knowing that those folks are doing that. But then when it tanks 10% below, 15.
When you're buying for a reversal, that means the institution and the guy that are playing against you, they are selling, they're distributing.
Right.
They're like getting rid of their positions.
Which is making the price actually go lower.
No. So imagine there's a dump, right? Falling. That's when all the traders go like, oh my god, okay, bounce.
Yeah.
Let's buy the reversal because I'm a beginner and I love catching falling knives, and trading reversal is nice because I make a lot of money really fast. I know that people that trade this is this guy.
Yep.
I'm
guilty.
Because I know you're gonna die in 90 days. So even if you realize that, the next one won't realize that.
Yep.
And you're gonna give me money again. And I know you're kind of paying me to teach you in the hard way, but so the price drops, you're buying, right? And after a drop, when this is happening, usually you see those doji bars. You see a lot of lateral bars. The price doesn't really get out of there. Man, crypto nowadays is always like that. It dumps.
And then it's just sideways,
Sideways and then dumps again.
Yep.
Because what happens is this. So, as a whale or investor, crypto also, they adopt a new vocabulary for why not a rich a whale.
Yep.
All right? Rhino, I think, would be nicer.
Baby whales, big whales, shit
Upward.
coins. There's all kinds of terminology. Hodl, FUD, FOMO.
The Hodl Moon. Oh my god. I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. The crypto trader is like a special kind of trader.
Yeah.
That if you understand him, you want him because they're all kids.
Yeah.
Most of them. You
Yeah.
know, it's like younger people.
No, this is awesome. Keep going.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. I wanted to talk about this because people are crazy about indicators, yet they fail to comprehend the market.
That's a big piece, and I mean, I've failed it. You're right though. There is a very certain mentality, and like a lot of the things you're saying, it's the mentality of the
information.
Yes, it's the psychology that really you're looking at of the type of trader it is.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what's up with trading, but people kind of forget how to treat people when they trade.
Yeah.
For instance, let's say I know a guy who married a girl, and their parents are very, very racist and conservative.
Yeah.
Right? So if you go to their place, are you gonna say things like "I vote for Bernie Sanders," "I hate Donald Trump"? You're not gonna say that.
Sure.
Are you?
No, of course not.
Why do you do that when you trade?
Yeah, that's a good way to. Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit. But so you're saying, I mean, a lot of it is mindset, which is true with a lot of things. And trading, like, how do you get into that mindset then? How do you, aside from talking to somebody like you, reading books, like how can somebody better develop that mindset and keep going with the mindset? Because I think it's helpful.
So remember the path from $30 to 150.
Yeah.
That's how you figure out, and then you're gonna ask me how, by writing down what you've done.
Yes.
So literally, when I'm trading, since things sometimes happen fast, I just write like simple stuff like reversal, RSI low, Spectro, blah blah, just stuff that makes me remember the condition. I just have to write down what happened really fast.
Yeah.
So what happens is this. I will say that if Spectro indicator is here, the spectral clouds are there, the X confirmations are here, I don't know, let's say use CCI, whatever, ultimate oscillator, whatever, man, whatever indicator you use to cross-reference. When this happens, I will buy.
Yeah.
My stop loss rule is this, my protect profit rule is this,
yeah.
And if this happens before, I will sell. You follow this thing exactly like you freaking wrote it 100 times.
Yeah.
After 100 times, you're gonna know. I have from 100 times, 70 times were correct.
Yeah.
So now you trust this fucking strategy.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So yes, and that's something honestly that I've fairly recently have been playing with and kind of just realizing, like, it's almost like the nature of the game is about mindset, but then also risk mitigation, like risk management, because if you can, like, if you can set your how should I say this? If you set your stop losses to be a certain level and you set your profitability to be a certain level and you enter the market and you have a bigger spread at the top versus the bottom. I'm not explaining this right, but
I know you
like your
too short and then it kills the trade.
Your win ratio is better. Your win ratio compared to your loss ratio is much better. But then
it can kill the trade.
Okay, tell me.
You're safe, especially in crypto where it oscillates a lot.
Yes.
Often you're gonna get stopped.
But what if you do that consistently? Like, let's say, on the downside, I'm always saying, stop loss is set at 3% or 4% or whatever it is below where you're entering the trade. Like, how would you approach that?
When you get in specifics, like where or how should I set my stop loss? There's no formula because it's completely different from trade. If you're trading a reversal, it's different from trading an ongoing trend.
Okay.
For instance, a reversal, often you need a much bigger stop loss. Why? Volatility, you're catching like a waterfall on your chest.
Yeah.
And some people are going to be afraid, some people are going to buy, so you can expect a crazy move down in the bottom, and you can look at any graph. It's always like that.
Yeah.
So if you cut it too short, you're gonna kill the trade. So, but the upside is much bigger than waiting for the confirmation, which is like bounced, confirmed, then you get in.
Yeah.
But when you trade confirmation, that's a lot safer because it's going up already, so you can set the stop loss a lot
Okay.
sooner because there's no, it's going up already. It's unlikely that's going to bounce back.
Yeah.
It bounces back too. There are a lot of fake outs.
Yeah.
But that's another, and that's what I'm saying. Figuring out every exception and aggregating new rules makes your strategy better. And how do you know that? By writing down, because then you say, oh, okay, I wrote it down. This didn't work, so I think I should set my stop loss 2% higher.
Yeah.
And then you figure out that it shouldn't be 2% higher. It should be a dynamic rule based on the ATR.
Right.
So this stuff just comes with time.
Yeah. No, I have so many questions. I mean, I know we're not going to get through like everything today, and that's fine, but I just have so many questions because this is super helpful. Like, and at some point I do want to look at charts, and maybe have the same conversation because, I mean, I can see, there's resistance on the top, there's support levels on the bottom, and people are always talking about support and resistance and setting their stop losses, near support levels, setting their, whatever. How do you actually engage in a setup? Like, what would be the top 5 things you do to engage in a setup? You see there was a big run up, or you see there was a big run down. Like, when you're entering, like, how do you actually enter that setup? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but once again, there are several markets, several assets, several time frames. And like, if I talk to someone like, hey, are you a trader? It doesn't matter if you're retail, professional, okay, that whatever.
Yeah.
The guy says, yes, I am a crypto day trader. That tells me that he sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because he only trades crypto in one specific time frame. So his versatility is close to none, and he has no experience in other markets.
Sure.
Which means that if crypto is bad, his portfolio sucks.
Okay. Yep.
That's what tells me.
Yeah.
Like, also it tells me that he lacks fundamentals, so probably he doesn't invest long-term things with real research. Probably he's the kind of guy that goes like, I'm gonna buy Tron because $20,000 by 2018.
Yeah.
Because I read a very good post in a forum.
Yep.
I mean, if you think that's a good idea, sure.
So do you like, kind of going back to mindset? I mean, would you value the news, the information, the sentiment, the type of audience or persona of people trading? Do you value that higher than actual technical indicators on a chart? And that might be a hard question, but
no, you see, that's another thing that guys from crypto always want. They want a formula. And you have to understand there are formulas, but every single situation needs a specific, and that's what experience tells you. Oh, this strategy is not going to work here.
Yeah.
I know that, let's say, stupid strategy, Bollinger Band, RSI, and ATR. That's a very good strategy to make quick corrections in a very big downfall or up move.
Sure.
It works for that. But in a very organic growth, you won't see ever a overbought or sold, or the Bollinger Band being broken.
That's true.
It's not going to work at all.
Yeah.
Like, makes no sense.
Yeah.
So I can give you, I can explain you how everything works, so you understand what situation you should use. But it doesn't matter if it's crypto, if it's water.
Yeah.
Understand it.
Yeah.
And then you do whatever you want.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's a lot of different types of situations. It makes sense. It's yeah.
You've been using Spectro lately, right?
Yep.
And lately, most of my strategies, they all come from Spectro. Like, I'm trying to turn Spectro in a thing that it's already almost there, and there's just a few things that I'm going to add to get to the final version. I'm not going to spoil it, but
it's okay.
I was created like in a way that I have all the tools in one place to trade any kind of thing.
Sure.
Like for one scalp, I just change a couple settings there, and I can scalp efficiently. I don't have to search for indicators, setup, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going at. Right now, mostly I've been trading only with Spectro.
Yeah.
I'm biased to say, like, I can use all the indicators, but just the X confirmations algorithm that we have inside of Spectro, it's already like, it reads 20 indicators for you. Like, what else you're gonna read?
Yeah.
No, right there, it's telling you, hey, it's oversold. You don't have to look.
Yeah.
No,
that's interesting. Do you? I want to. Maybe next time we could get into I actually want to show the tool and like go through it with you, you know, as the creator, because there's a lot of settings. There's a lot of different options and variation that you can set. And I mean, you know, obviously there's meaning to what you should set, how you should set up in certain situations. And that's kind of some of the things I want to go through. I mean, I like the mindset and the setup, you know, that we've been talking about. It gives me a lot of good insights. I mean, I want to, yeah, I want to keep this going. I want to obviously be respectful of your time. I know we've been on.
It's a long talk.
Yeah.
Like each specific situation requires a different setup. You got to understand, you know, like.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why I wanted to talk about the basics, because now that we talked about it, you see how weak technical analysis appear to be compared to the whole. Yeah. You know, it's a very big, you know, like you're being really, really not humble. Let's put it this way. Sure. Assuming that just with a, you know, like a statistical analysis, you can forecast the price. So information. The more you have.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people fail to see that bigger picture. The bigger mentality of who's trading, who you're trading against, why they are trading, why they're in the game in the first place, what kind of person they actually are. On, you know,
when I was learning how to play poker, I was playing with a friend who actually lives from poker. Yeah. And he told me this: when you start learning poker, you learn how to play poker. Yeah. When you start getting decent at poker, you learn what your one opponent is playing. Yeah. You know, now you're thinking not only about your hand but his hand. Yeah. When you start to become a better player, you not only are trying to guess his hand, but you're trying to make him guess your hand wrong. Yeah. Yeah. And then when you're very good, you're not trying only to make him guess you're wrong, but you know, also you're trying to make him play in a way that you want. Yeah. So now you actually have to. So trading has also those layers. Yeah. Because when you're a beginner, you're pretty much like down in the graph. You know,
the chart.
You know, like, oh, it's oversold, buy. Yeah. You know, you have no idea what's going on, the momentum, you know, the volume, where the whale's at. Yeah.
So, okay. Yes, I agree. I mean, this is awesome. Okay, so I want to keep this moderately short because I know you have other things to do, and I want to be respectful of your time. The last, I guess, question or two that I want to ask is, where would you tell people to start learning, and what would you tell them to start learning about? Because obviously they could go into Spectro, and they should, and, you know, learn from there. But, like, to get a better sense of the big picture, you know, is that reading books? Is that going to certain sites? Is that looking at certain indicators and learning what those are, looking at how volume, like, where in the first 30 days, let's say, where would you tell somebody to start, aside from looking at Spectro? Because I think that's a good value add and training tool as they're learning, honestly. But, like, just what would your opinion be about that?
Okay, the first thing was pretty much like coming to realize what we talked about, which is like I have to create a system. Okay. I have to follow my system. Yep. And I have to be disciplined enough to write it down how everything went down. Yep. You know, everything. Yep. Also, like if you sold before your system, because you're gonna fail. Yeah. You know, you're gonna be afraid. Like, oh, I'm gonna sell now. Yeah. Or whatever. You're gonna fail.
I'm starting right after we got. Sorry, go ahead.
It's those comments that are gonna make you realize, oh, I have to improve this. Yeah. This is not good. So that's the minimum, right? How to do it? I could tell you to read 5 different books, like Principles by Ray Dalio, which is amazing, or Hedge Fund Wizards, but mostly they're gonna tell you create your own system, which is like this whole talk. It's like what you're gonna read in those books.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
In essence, of course, please. But the Ray Dalio book's called Principles. You know?
Yes. Bing, the light bulb. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, like. She's trying to tell them, just write down your principles in a machine and let the machine do the machine thing and you do the human thing. Yeah. And that's how I became a billionaire.
Give me an example of a principle that you follow. Like just any principle, like any type of principle that you would write down, that you would follow, just to give the audience an idea of what you're talking about.
Okay, so let's say I'm day trading. Yep. So it means that I don't have to analyze a lot of external data. I need only, you know, just to keep it simple.
Yeah.
So when you day trade, it's hard to forecast. Let's say it's a sideways market.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell if it's going to go up or down.
Yep.
You can't tell. And trying to forecast this, it's going to mess you up.
Sure.
Because you're going to trade a side market, and the commissions are going to eat you alive. So when you actually enter the real trade, you're already like 5% down.
Yep.
You know? And I know all of you do that because you love to click buy and sell.
I do.
Guilty. I know.
Guilty.
What you do, it's actually you're waiting, because here's the thing. Now, imagine it's the ocean, right? The ocean's calm, you cannot surf. So I'm waiting for the wave so I can start surfing. So once there's a big move, that's when I pay attention to the asset.
Okay.
Might recover, might not. So that's the first thing I look for, big moves.
Yep.
Simple way, biggest gainers, biggest losers, easy way, and then you can cross with RSI, whatever. I'm keeping it simple. I use everything. I use the tools in Spectro to check if it's oversold or not.
Sure.
I'm just keeping it simple so people don't have to buy Spectro to follow the stats. I don't want to be like that guy, right?
Yeah, no, it's good.
So use whatever indicator you use to spot the reversal, right? But then there's that problem. Remember, like you're selling on the oversold, and so another technique that I do. So let's say, and that's something that also beginners don't do because they just want to go in.
Yeah.
Let's say you're willing to trade $1,000.
Yeah.
So it's oversold. All the indicators show it's a good reversal. It could be a fake reversal. So what I do is I don't actually buy the $1,000 that I have. I buy, I don't know, 300.
Sure.
And I wait a little bit.
Yeah.
If it drops, I buy again.
Yeah.
Because if I miss the bottom, so let's say I buy here, it failed, drops again, I buy more here.
Yeah.
So let's say this is the bottom. When it comes back up, it's gonna break even here and give me this profit here.
Yeah. So you're laddering down and you're kind of dollar cost averaging at the same time, essentially.
Yeah. It's just, I keep things kind of simple because here's the thing, it's very likely that you're gonna fail the first time.
Sure.
But it's very common. And also if it keeps going, let's say I buy here, buy more here, and then it reverses and it confirms the reversal, I buy more.
Yeah.
So I bought 300, 300, and 200.
Makes sense, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's another thing that beginners struggle because they want to make their money fast, so they think they're gonna get the very bottom with all their money.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I've done that a lot. Actually, where you think this is the bottom, this is totally the bottom, it has to be the bottom. Boom, I'm going all in, and you're like, oh damn.
My approach is exactly the opposite. It's like I am guessing that I'm gonna get the bottom wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you see, it's like a dude once told me like the beginner, they do something until they get it right, and the professional, they do something until they get it wrong.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I've actually considered doing that. Like every decision that I would make, do the opposite. Literally, I've never actually tried that, but do the opposite.
And remember that I was talking about like this place that I went, that you have to be invited. They have like this thing, they say like believe nothing, test everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's very useful, as you can see. Like everything that I do, I'm always guessing like, what are the odds that I know the truth?
Yeah.
That my way, it's the best way in the galaxy.
Yeah. No, it's a good frame of mind. I mean, it's a good mindset to have because
because it makes you more it's faster for you to react.
Yeah.
And not only faster, but also it makes you more aware of the risks.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
if you approach it too cocky, even if you do a good trade, you're very likely to lose twice as much because you're gonna double your account the next day trade.
Right, because you're cocky and you think you're all right.
Especially when you keep winning.
Yeah.
If you don't have a very good rule how to deal with winning as well, you're gonna go crazy.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
You double your account in a day, man. The next day you're gonna be trading big.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the guys said no, I wouldn't. But every time that I've seen that happening, the guys like, man, let's do it. Let's go big now.
Yeah, it's seductive. It's seductive because you have a lot more to play with and to lose. I mean, you have a lot more to lose, really. So it's seductive. It is.
And then it all comes down to the comparison to a company. If you had a company, would you, like, if you made money, would you just get the cash and put it in your pocket?
Yeah.
Or would you actually pay for the costs, analyze your revenue, and see if you actually can reinvest that?
readjust.
Why do you do that with your company and you don't do that with your money?
No, it's good to know. Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. I mean,
you have to treat your trading like a business.
Yeah.
And people see it as a hobby or as a way to make money.
Yeah.
And it really isn't.
No.
It's not that complicated, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
And people, they come with this idea they can find a bot that's going to solve their strategy. But once again, that's just one problem. What about picking a good asset that has volatility? What about actually executing the trade?
Yeah.
It's good. If it was that easy, all of us would have Lamborghinis, right?
Of course. I mean, what you're saying, the things we were talking about are kind of like, they're really just table stakes. I mean, they're really just the foundational, like even before you start getting into execution and some of the more specific things, like just to level set. I mean, organize, create a system, create fundamentals or principles that you're going to operate off of, stick to those fundamentals and be consistent so that you could learn from those and write that stuff down. I mean, record those fundamentals, record your rules, record your trades, record the entry points, the exit points, the laddering down, the dollar cost averaging, like whatever it is, however you're doing it, record it. That's the only way you're going to, fundamentally improve over time. It's the same thing for, like, I've been in marketing for a long time, and it's the exact same thing with like any type of digital marketing activities or campaigns, right? We have all this data we can get, and a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to go use Google Analytics. I'm going to go do a paid search campaign. I'm going to do whatever. But they don't track anything, so they can never improve like their conversion rates or their cost per acquisition or their whatever it is, because they don't actually record it effectively, and so they can't improve. And it's just the exact same thing. You have to have that system of recording the data and improving upon it over time. I mean,
it's just like I said, I don't know what's up with trading, but people tend to react in a completely different way when they're trading as they would if they were doing normal things. Like, let's say you're going to parachute. I think you want to understand how the parachute works before you actually parachute.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
You kind of want to know how to pull the thing and how to not die and stuff.
Yep.
But why do you do that with your savings?
Yeah.
You just, parachute with your savings and you think that's okay for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah, that's
what I'm trying to say. Like, I could spend hours and hours and hours in saying, like, hey guys, the money's gonna call your judgment. When you start measuring the tops, the bottoms and the tops, and you start making like, man, if I make 1% a day, I'm rich.
Yeah. It doesn't work like that. I can tell from experience, and maybe you can as well, but it does not work like that. Trust me.
It does.
Yeah.
You know what you do? Buy a parachute. Never. Don't do anything. Go in a plane. Jump.
Yep.
Then it works.
Yeah. Try that. Anybody out there who wants to try that, tell us before you do it.
It works. And we have to beta test. That's one. Do it 100 times now.
Yeah.
And we can actually see if it works if you were lucky.
Yeah, no, that's good. Well, cool. Well, thank you, Spectre. Thank you, Rod. I want to thank you for your time. We can talk for hours and hours. I mean, I still have thousands of questions I could ask you, honestly, and dig in. Hopefully we could come back and do this again. I mean, I'm definitely learning a ton, and I think everybody out there is learning a lot. But again, I want to be respectful of your time. I know we've gone a while. But I do want to, is there anything, before we drop off and end this session, is there anything like else that you want to leave with folks that you want to make sure people hone in on? I mean, aside from Spectre, and definitely if you haven't checked out Spectre, you should. It's actually pretty mind-blowing what Rod has done with the tool, with Spectre, and how it can actually help you in your trading, even if you're a beginner. Just to watch it and to chart it and to see how it works will give you a lot of really good insight. But what else would you say, kind of as departing words, as final words in this session? Anything else you want to say?
I don't want to go all rocky on you, but it's very nice to throw punches, but really what makes you stand, like in the end of the day, it's actually learn how to take the punches. And it's the same thing with trading. If you don't know how to lose small, if you can't take a punch, I'm sorry, you're not going to live enough to keep swinging.
Yeah.
So that's my, all this stuff that I'm telling you guys, like, to make you trade safer, to make you box safer.
Yeah.
To make you survive the punches.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you won't have you won't survive the time you need to get to the 150.
Yes.
So that's it. Learn how to lose first, be humble, and then you can start worrying about actually winning.
Awesome advice. Learn to lose. I find that extremely important. I mean, I'm still learning it, but that's the only way you're gonna get better.
Another thing, really fast. I just so much.
No,
please. Like when you lose, man, especially for me, I hate to lose. Like it affects me emotionally up to this day a lot. Especially because when you get, like your precision goes up.
Yeah.
When you mess up.
Yeah. It's a hit to the heart, a hit to the soul.
Yeah, like I've been trading a couple times a month, so when I get one wrong, I get really, really angry. Kind of affects me for a few days, and I don't like to trade after because I know I'm not on my zone. Like I'll be thinking like, no, I have to make up for my loss. And I don't like to trade against this kind of mentality. Like a guy, one of the guys, he said, man, I just quit my job and I'm gonna be a full-time trader, but I've never traded before. Like, man,
good luck.
I'm not saying you're not gonna make it, but you see this pressure that I have to make it.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
Bad.
That's pressure.
It's pressure, man.
And
especially when you have to pay the rent.
It affects your emotions, and it'll make you make stupid decisions. I mean, foolish decisions, things that you would never, if you just took a step back, you would never do in your right mind, and you're only doing because you're fearful. I mean, you're doing it out of fear, essentially.
That's like when people rob supermarkets.
Yes.
Because they were broke.
That's a pretty good comparison, actually. I mean, in a way, because they're in desperation, and if you're trading in desperation, good luck.
Man, that's another topic for another talk. But I feel like a lot of people that get into the financial market, a very good portion, I think they see it as a Hail Mary. And those guys, I feel like they're fated to lose even more. And that's something that if I tell you, like, hey, man, if you're coming here as your last resort, don't bet your last bullet on this gunfight.
Yeah. No, good. Yeah. Good final words. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on the show. Thank you for all the tips and insights that you've given us. I think really, really valuable for me and for the community, I think, out there. We'll definitely do it again, guys. We'll get into more of the fundamentals, more of Spectro specifically, and go through that. I know a lot of you are probably waiting for that out there as well. But thanks again, Rod. Couldn't thank you enough. But hopefully you have a good weekend, and we'll talk more as the days go by.
This weekend's going to be great.
Yes. Have a really good weekend, and let me know how things go. Well, you're not flying out for a while, but have a good weekend. Let me know how it goes. Hopefully you feel good on Monday, and I'll try to reach out to you.
All right. See you then.
Cool. Thanks, Rod. See you later.